In order to derive mathematics properly from observation, we have to make sure we aren't making any assumptions. So let's imagine what a primitive people would be like before they had mathematics. Man's mind has a certain psychological limit. We'll call this the unit limit. Your mind is only able to distinguish between probably at most 6 or 7 items. So, here's 3 items versus 4 items. Your brain can pretty easily distinguish between that many. But then here's 4 items versus 5 items. Here's 5 items versus 6 items. And then here's 6 items versus 7 items. Your brain starts to lose it. The only way that you're really able to grasp these, now, you're able to grasp them if you cheat. If you use mathematical ideas we haven't derived yet, you see? So the challenge here is to never make any assumptions, to use only the ideas that we've established so far and observations to come up with new ideas, okay? So imagine again that you are part of a primitive tribe. We'll call this the primitive tribe of Babel. And these are the early Babylonians. I don't know what the actual Babylonians were, but let's say they're an early tribe. And they're able to hunt. They're able to fish. They know that the winter will come eventually, but they don't know how many days until it'll come. And they don't know how much to save because, you can't distinguish between, they're not able to distinguish between large groups of objects. So they save for the winter. They know they should, but they don't know how much to save for the winter. As a result, many of them die during the winter, probably many of them children. Much of the world that's so real to us is unreal to them, and they suffer at the hands of it. They are not able to master their world yet because it is so vast. It contains so many things. And in a world that contains so many things, you can't navigate it if you can't even tell the difference between 10 and 11 things. So we need some kind of way to deal with this. And here's one story that could show us how we would deal with this. So imagine there's a battle. There's a fight between the tribe of Babel and one of its ancient enemies, the tribe of Mosul. And the tribe of Mosul, their army is over a hill, just over a hill from the village of Babel. And they're ready to strike in the next morning. Chief Marduk of the Babel sits on top of the hill and he wonders, what am I supposed to do? If we fight, my village could be destroyed and all of our children either enslaved or killed. If we flee, we may have to flee these bastards forever. We may just be on the run for our entire lives. What can I do? And he sees the enemy camp before him, and he sees the people walking around, and he has an idea. For each individual he sees in the camp, he takes a bag and he puts a rock into that bag. And he makes sure that he has one rock for each person he sees in the Mosul camp. And he takes that bag back to his people. And then what he does is he lines up his warriors and puts a rock into a second bag for each of his own warriors. And then he lines each of those sets of rocks up. One set of rocks representing the Babel, his warriors, and one set of rocks representing the Mosul, the enemy warriors. And so you can see if we line them up like this in one-to-one correspondence, we are able to see perceptually with certainty which group outnumbers the other group. Now, we're not able to really understand the number of either group because we don't have numbers yet. The Babel don't have numbers, but they do have quantitative comparison now. Chief Marduk has been able to break the limit that we have in this little brain of ours, break that limit by lining up rocks. Chief Marduk knows that if he commits his men to an all-out defense, maybe an all-out attack against the enemy camp, he is likely to win and finish this conflict forever, allowing his people to live in peace. The next day, he strikes early in the morning, earlier than he knows the Mosul are likely to attack. They attack their camp. The Mosul are still getting ready for the battle ahead, and they overrun the enemy camp. The day has been won by the tribe of Babel and their chieftain Marduk, who will forever be known as the founder of mathematics in the Babylonian people. So I have to emphasize that this story is fictional, but the connections that I'm trying to dramatize here could be real. This could have been the way that mathematics could have been discovered, a way of breaking the limit our minds have and being able to tell the difference between one quantity and another quantity. The Babel have taken their first step towards knowing the world and mastering it. So now for an assignment. So this is our first generalization, and we will go only one generalization at a time in these videos. And I will always give you an assignment at the end to master the new generalization that we just made. Now, in these first few generalizations, obviously, they're going to be really easy. But what I want you to focus on in these first few videos is the method I'm using. The method where I don't assume anything. I only go one generalization at a time. And I only use observations that would have been understandable to people in this situation, with this mindset, with this small level of ideas. And so during these first few videos, I want you to, just focus on the methodology I'm using, the methodology of inductive logic. Okay. Now for your assignment. And at the end of each video, I'll give you assignment. And this assignment won't be mathematically difficult, but maybe philosophically difficult. I want you to really get yourself into the shoes of one of these Babylonians, really into the minds of one of these Babylonians. What sort of things would they know? What sort of things would they not know? What sort of things are easy and obvious to you? Or even easy and obvious to a very stupid person living today, but very difficult for them, even among the smartest of them, maybe like Marduk. I mean, think of Marduk is probably one of the smartest people among the tribe of Babel right now. But many of the things that are easy, even for stupid people today, are hard for him. So I want you to just go through lots of examples of that to prepare yourself for the next video. And I'll see you then.